Let's go!
I'm Mr. Peter Parker, be my Mary Jane Jody. Let's get away. Let's fly away. I'm Mr. Peter Parker, be my Mary Jane Jody. Let's get away. Let's fly away.
I'll be your Peter Parker, you be my Mary Jane. And the way she looking proper, I wanna hit that thing. And the way she got me on it, I can't get off this thing. And I gotta hit it daily. I love you, Mary Jane.
Hey, I'm Nish and you're watching Dharmary.com. I'll be interviewing Parichay from Toronto and Pier in London. Thank you very much. Cheers.
What's up, it's your boy Parichay, and you're locked into Dharmary.com. This is a little something off my second single. It's called Custom Say I Swear. कैसे कहूँ, ये कैसे कहूँ, बोलो कैसे कहूँ, मेरी जान दिल हुआ, मेरा दिल हुआ, ये दिल हुआ, तुम पे फिदा. Just a little something. It's cool.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by Toronto-based singer, songwriter and producer Parichay.
How you doing?
Welcome
Nice
to
to meet you.
Dharmary.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, what brings you to London?
A bunch of things, but the number one focus and the number one reason for me to be is music.
Okay.
There's so much going on, you know, in terms of Asian talent, the whole Asian music industry. I had to be here, man. I had to, you know, get a piece of that cake. Yeah, that's why I'm here.
What's the meaning of your name, Parichay?
It actually means introduction.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
So Parichay is introduction to Hindi.
Right.
I could have came up with, you know, a P Rich or a Polly Zingo or one of them names, but a lot of people suggest that, you know what, stick with your name, it's cool, and that's how everybody's known me for a long time now, so I just stuck with it.
Now you're based in Toronto,
Mhm.
but tell us about your heritage.
My dad's from the south of India, and my mother's from Mumbai,
Okay.
so I'm half South Indian, Tamil, half Marathi.
Right.
I can understand and speak, I'd say 70 to 80% of Tamil, 100% of Marathi, 100% of Hindi. And I try to speak a little bit of English too, so you know, that's me really.
Describe us your style of music.
I'd say Hindi urban.
Yeah.
Yeah, world fusion. I don't know, it's hard for me to describe it because I, you know, just like I named my album No Boundaries, I think music has no boundaries. I really think that. Growing up, I grew up to, you know, old Hindi classics from Muhammad Rafi Saab to Hariharan to all of the new Rahman stuff and Kishore Kumar and all the legends. But obviously, having lived in Toronto for so long, the urban influence has always been around. So when I'm driving, I'm really not listening to, you know, Desi Girl or none of that. But so that urban influence, along with my Indian roots and, you know, the Indian influences, kind of bring it together. East meets West, and Desi Urban is born, I guess.
You mentioned you listened to a lot of songs when you were young.
Absolutely.
But what really got you into this style of music?
At the age of 13, I participated on ZTV's Unpactually
Wow.
as a child artist, and the response that I got from, you know, singing in the bathroom straight on stage, I fell in love with the stage. So from then on, was just no looking back. We won the final and this and that, and got a bunch of gifts and all of that, and just motivated me. I love cars, I love materialistic things, but most importantly, I love music. Those are just the good things that come along with it, and I don't know, for me, honestly, it might sound really weird and funny to you guys, but I feel like God said, you know what, just push me, and just like, go.
Your debut track,
Yeah.
album, No Boundaries. Tell us about it. How did this all start?
This started, I don't know, really, there was no formula. I did not sit down and say, okay, I'm going to make 9 songs, call them so and so. It's really a vibe. You're just in the mood. A song happens based on a certain story.
Yeah.
A lot of it is actually based on true story. And it just happened in September of 2008. By December of 2008, I was done recording, mixing, mastering the album.
Yeah.
Went down to India, got a deal with Times Music in January. So toured India, promoted it, hardcore. Went back to North America, I did that, and I'm in the UK trying to push it.
You've been in the underground Bollywood and Urban scene for like 10 years.
Yeah.
How's that journey been so far?
It's been crazy. To be honest, when I first started, I used to do a lot of Bollywood shows, whether it was weddings, whether it was auditorium gigs. We just sing 3 hours with Bollywood songs non-stop. So did a lot of that, and that kind of built the basis, in terms of learning how to perform, learning how to communicate with people on stage, those kind of things. So I always carry that with me. Then eventually I hit a roadblock. I felt like there was, no more. It was limited, the growth, and I had to take the next step by doing my own stuff. And that's No Boundaries as a result of that decision.
What has been your best performance on stage?
Oh, that's a good question. Every show, again, I don't want to be politically correct or sound like I'm being politically correct, but every show has its own flavor. But obviously, I have to say, Desi Fest in Toronto 2009 was one of those just absolutely flawless experiences on stage. Just the love from the audience, the whole band thing, the energy on stage, and the response we got, and it was just flawless. It was phenomenal. I just wish it went on forever. But we're rocking Desi Fest again this year, so it's gonna be crazy.
Nice. Your music is heavily influenced by Northern Indian. So, are you thinking of bringing the Southern Asian style into your music?
Absolutely. And off camera, like I was saying to you guys, that's definitely something I want to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm a huge fan of Parichay. He's probably my second most favorite singer of all time. Rahman, one of my favorite composers. Just imagine sitting in the studio with A.R. Rahman and Timbaland. Okay, that would be my ideal situation. But so Tamil music is very, very rich, and I know that. I can understand and speak it, which is obviously a huge benefit.
Okay.
But I can't write it.
Right.
So there's certain limitations, but I want to work around that and find some real cool. So if you're if you think you're good and you're a Tamil artist and you want to collaborate with me, I'll be more than happy to kind of do that for sure. That's definitely 100%. This year, something like that will be out from my side.
Parichay in the coming future?
A lot more collaborations, and not just Asian. I totally want to go mainstream. So Boy Wonder, who was actually Drake's producer, was one of the guys I was, like I said, was hugely fortunate to be able to work with. There's a few more, comic music, some of the top labels that we're in dialogue with to work with their artists, and that's really what I want to do, is bring Hindi music and Indian music overall to mainstream, not just be focused on the basic music, basic scene, but bring it to the mainstream. So that's one thing. The label, of course, a lot more music, a lot more videos, just all kinds of stuff.
If our audience want to follow your music, where can they find out more information?
Just go to Tesco. No, I'm kidding. But you can't miss me on the internet. Whether just ParichayOnline.com is really the center.
Yeah.
And that will take you to my space, like I say, your space, his space, her space. YouTube, SheTube, MeTube, my .com, everywhere. Facebook, Twitter. You can't miss it. So ParichayOnline.com.
Excellent. I want to thank you for joining us and giving a lowdown of your music. And where can people get this album?
ParichayOnline.com, iTunes, worldwide. So, yeah, when I talk to my fellow Indian people or brown people as a whole, telling them to spend money on music, it's a bit of a challenge. But if you really got it and you want to support music, go buy it. I can't stop you from illegally downloading it, but it's all over the internet. Yeah, iTunes. Get it off iTunes.
Could we hear a line from another track?
Absolutely can. What would you like to hear?
Which one's your favorite?
Okay, I'm going to sing a line off my #1 single that we have a video for too. It's called Deewana Tera, She Makes Me Crazy. And I'll just sing a bit of the hook for you. दिल दे दूं जान दे दूं पास बुला के इकरार कर लूं प्यार कर लूं ये क्या कर डाला जाना दीवाना तेरा बना दिया मुझे दीवाना तेरा बना दिया तुमने दीवाना तेरा बना दिया मुझे दीवाना तेरा बना दिया. Just a little something like that. ये क्या कर डाला जाना दीवाना तेरा बना दिया मुझे दीवाना तेरा बना दिया तुमने दीवाना तेरा बना दिया मुझे दीवाना तेरा बना दिया.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Parichay.
It's been it's been honestly, thank you very much. It's been a blast.
Thank you very much.
Big up to Tamarai.com, and yeah, thanks for having me.